Hey everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching today. So I've got a brand new card style to share with you, and I'm calling this my tiered gatefold or floating tiered gatefold card. So this is how it looks from the front. It's held together with a belly band, and I've just used some of my stamps and dies here with the balloons. We've got some sparkle there with the sequins, and then you just take the belly band off, and then these here, when you open the card, they are all floating tiers. Now I've made this to look like they're the tiers of the cake to match with this gorgeous stamped image here, but they could be the doors opening, it could be the church doors, could be a lovely wedding card. It's got such a nice look to it, and you can see there just how they all kind of, you know, float around. It's really easy for the person who you give this to know what to do. You've got your space on the back there to write your message, and you can see how it all looks on the side here, or you can write your message inside. You can stamp and have sentiments here. Use your beautiful pattern papers. That's how it looks when it stands up, and obviously if you pull it out, you know, a bit more like so. There we go. So that's how it will look when it's displayed. And then I like to just have the belly band just in front there, which I just adore. I think it looks lovely. It's a very easy card style to make, so let me show you how. So first of all, I'll just go through all the scoring and sizes for the back, and these are the hinges, and then we'll go through all of the panels. So you're going to need a piece of 8 by 7. Along the 8-inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1.5, 6.5, and 7.5. Okay, then if you pop it on the short side, score at 6, but just to the first score line, and then flip, and again 6 to the first score line. They're just cutting markers, so it doesn't matter. Again, I've said it before, if the score lines are different ways, it's just there, isn't it? It's easier to just do it that way than to try and line up your stylus across that section there. So that's everything for the main part. And then you're going to want, I've already folded those ones, so you'll want 2 of each of these sizes. You'll want 2 pieces of 1.5 by 5.5, 1.5 by 4.5, and 1.5 by 3.5. And you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 1. You're going to score at 1/2 inch and 1 on all of these pieces along that 1.5 width. And then you just want to concertina fold them. I might as well do that while I'm here. So you're just going to do a valley and a mountain. Valley, mountain. Burnish them with your score tool as well, so they're nice and flat, because this is what adds that dimension to the card. I'll use all those in a moment. Whilst I've got the scoreboard, I will go through the measurements for all of the panels, and we'll do one of them together. It's a very, I think, pretty quick card to put together. So you'll want 2 pieces of 2.5 by 7. I'll go through the pattern paper on top in a moment. Then 2 pieces of 2.5 by 6. 2 pieces of 2.5 by 5. And then 2 pieces of 2.5 by 4. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this, and then we can decorate those panels. So I've chosen my colours to match the image here that I've coloured. I'm going to link in now just a quick little 2 minutes of me colouring this, because I know lots of you do like to watch that. It's the Daisy Mae Surprise stamp set. I'm not sure if this one's still available. I know they did sell pretty quickly when Claire released this range, but I will link everything in the description box below. So I've cut this to a piece of 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and then I've popped it onto a piece of green, which it's about 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. It's not my usual 1/4 inch border. I just wanted a very thin, in this case green, to match the very thin borders that I've given on all of this here. So on each of these, I've just dropped down 1/8 of an inch for the panels on top. So this was a piece of 2 1/2 by 7. This yellow piece is a piece of 2 3/8 by 6 7/8. So just drop down 1/8 of an inch on your width and your length to give you your size for this. Okay, so I've got one here, and I'll just show you what I did and how I got this effect here. So I wanted mine to look like a cake tier because she's popping out of the cake, and it's a tiered, I'm calling it a tiered gatefold. And I thought, yeah, a cake tier would be really good. So that's where I'm going with this one. So I'm just popping that on top. Like I said, very thin white border. You could emboss this as well. I mean, it's going to add more dimension, but I think it would look lovely depending on how you're decorating it. Then with this one here, I just cut myself a strip of white card, and I've got this punch here. This is a Dress My Craft punch. There's lots of scallop punches. I'll see if I can link some below. You might also have a die. And if you don't have anything, you might have a different shape that you want to do. You might not even add this. So, you know, this is just an idea that I had. You just pop it in, and I've just punched along until I've got this effect. Then I want to trim it so it's 1/2 inch wide. I didn't want to do it before because it's 1/2 inch is too thin to kind of get in here, and it was just better having it a little bit bigger to start with. So I'm just lining up the tops there, and then cut that one away. And then I've got some of my thin foam strips, and I'm just going to lay a strip of foam along the top there. A little bit wonky, let's just take that end off. There we go. Take the backing off. And then I just laid this over the top. So this was lining up with the top of this panel, and then I had an equal amount overhanging. If I cut them all to the same width, it was really difficult to line up the pattern, so it was kind of equal. So it was better to make it slightly longer and then move it into position so that it looked more, you know, equal. And then I always like to cut it from the back because you can butt your scissors up to the side and get a nice straight line. And there we've got that little detail. So it's pretty simple, but I just thought it worked quite well with this design. So next we're going to go back to this piece here. So just fold and burnish the 2 inner score lines, so the ones that will make your 5 by 7 card here. And then these ones you're going to fold out. If you want to score it in the other direction so your card doesn't crack, then do so. This card's pretty good, and it's the Craft UK. This is a 300 GSM cardstock. So you see here we've scored across. We're going to cut across that score line, remove the score line, you don't want to see that, up to there, and then you're going to go across on an angle up to the top there. And then on this side you could come down now from this score line down to that other score line, whatever way works best for you. And then just again cut across, but remove that completely, just so it's nice and neat. And this just gives it the illusion that the panels are floating. So just burnish that down like so. First of all, you're going to start off with these largest ones, and you're going to stick them on the top here so that you have your gatefold card. So you're using this 5 by 7 size as your guide to line everything up. So I'm going to use the quick grab glue on this one. Just add your glue all down that panel and line up the corners first, and then just lay everything else down. But make sure it's all flush with the bottom here because you want it to stand. Okay, I'm not going to pull that out just yet. I want to make sure that's definitely dry. Then I'm going to add glue to this side and do exactly the same again. So you see now mine sit nicely together, and it's all within that 5 by 7 size. So now when I pull this one out, we've got our first kind of floating tier. Okay, you want to take first of all the one which is 5 1/2 by 1.5. So you should have a mountain and a valley. You're going to stick this in the middle of this section here. Okay, you want the mountain to face inside this way, so that the top, see this mountain fold here, should face in. So I'm just going to run my glue all down here. So I've got the open end on my right and that folded side on my left. You want to get this, you're going to stick this in the middle so it's flush with the bottom, and you want to make sure you get it as straight as you can, because that's going to, you know, make everything stand properly. And then just give that a good burnish. Okay, so you'll see there that Z shape. And then with this one, it's going to be the opposite, so the open end is facing this one, okay, because you need them to pull out that way. So again, just run my glue all the way down there. Again, just sit this in the middle, straight as you can get it. Give that a good burnish. Okay, so we've got these two now that you can see are going to pull out to each side. So then you want to get the next size down, and you're going to stick these on top. So all you got to do now is add your glue all the way down here, and then I'm going to focus on the bottom here in the corner. So I'm just going to tilt it and get that corner kind of down and along the sides here, and then just lay that down. The key with this is getting the bottom here, you know, am I in? Yeah, I am in frame. Making sure that's nice and straight there. Again, make sure that's all stuck down, and then whilst that's drying, move on to the next side. And then again, focus on the bottom. And then you're going to repeat again. So you want the next size down. This one, open end facing in, and then this open end facing in, stick them in the middle. And then I'm going to stick the blue, and then I'll do the same with these ones, and then stick the green. Okay, so once you're happy that's all dry, I would recommend pulling each one out separately first, just to check that the glue is definitely secure. And that way you can test it's all working. But you can see there already how it looks. It's so cool. And then when it stands up, you really get to see all of those lovely tiered panels. So then I'm going to stick this one down inside here. I think that really pulls it all together now. So I'm going to use the Calcott glue. And then I would cut a piece of these same sizes here that I gave you, and stick them on the back, so you've got your space to write your message. Or depending on how you're decorating it, you know, you might have your panels all decorated with different patterns. You might have a nice sentiment and write your to and from inside here. So it's up to you. I'm just going to slide that in there. So I'm going to let that dry. Now we can make the belly band. Okay, so I've stamped this image here, which is an old Dovecraft. They've done lots in this range, all these big sentiments, so I've just chosen the birthday girl. And then I've stamped and coloured some of the images here from my occasion stamp set. So the balloon, the champagne, and a couple of the glasses there. And I thought they'd be nice on the topper, and they're the same colours that I've used in the card there. So I'm going to stick this one onto the front here. I think I might add some sequins onto this as well. I'm going to use some foam. Okay, so the size of these, if anybody wants to know, this is an old set from the works as well, but any, you know, any shapes will work for this. It's just over 4 by 3.5, and then that's just over 3.5 by 3. Okay, so that's all dry now, and I've also stuck my panel on the back. So I'm just going to fold all that back in so it folds in nice and easily. Now I've got this strip here, the longest you can get it, by mine's 1 inch, because it's going to sit lower down here. So I'm just going to bring it up and wrap it around. You'll only pull this one off from the bottom, so you don't want it too tight, as I always say, but you want it so it's easy for them to take off. But also with this, because there is dimension, you don't want it to fall off. So I'm just going to mark with my finger there, and then I can add my glue over this part. Just bring that over like so, and then whilst that's drying, I'm going to add some foam across this panel like so. Take that off, and then I can stick my topper just so it's in the middle of the belly band. I think that looks about right, like so. And then I'm going to attach these pieces here. So again, pop it up on some foam. I might trim the bottom of that off and stick it, although I do kind of like it. Maybe see what it's like behind. No, I think I'm going to have it just coming out behind the white, and then we can have this can be kind of built up like so. I could probably just get it there. I want to make sure I can, because for me, as I say a lot as well, when I use a belly band, that is the envelope for me. This is going to be hand given to my friend, so I don't need to worry about another envelope. So actually I think that's going to look okay. I kind of like it stuck on top. So I'm just going to add some glue onto here like so, and then just stick these bits down. And have that one, just stick this bit down here. Just a little bit of glue just to tuck it in place. And then I think just a couple of sequins. I've got some that will match nicely. I've got these here. I picked this up, I want to say the Works, a while ago, but it's a bit of a go-to for me because it's got the discs and it's also got the stars. And the stars are all of those, you know, nice brights that I like to use. So I'm just going to use my little pickup pencil. This is from Craft Stash Basics. So again, if I remember, I'll link it below. I should have them all permanently linked because it's things that people do ask about. And then just pull out all the colours. Just a few. And you always want to make sure you've got an odd number. So I've got 3, but I think we could have 5. So let's do another one here. And then let's do another one up here. And let's do pink one. There we go. So now it's just got that little bit of sparkle, and then I'm going to finish it off with some of my accent glaze on the champagne. So I've just finished it with some of the accent glaze there, and then you've got that shine, and then you can just slide the band off and then pull out the sides to reveal your tiered, multi-tiered floating gatefold card with that lovely belly band to match. I think it's such a gorgeous card style. I can see this working for so many occasions, and it's definitely a style that I'm going to be using and making some more. I'm going to do a 6x6 style next because I think the 6x6 will be really good. So like I said at the beginning, you know, you can have sentiments here if you want. I just wanted it all that focus to be on that image. It's like the doors are opening, or in this case the cake tiers, but it's just got that, I just think, really special look to it. And I've thoroughly enjoyed putting this one together. So I hope you've enjoyed it too. As always, I will link as much of this product that I've used in the description box below. And I'll be back again very soon with more tutorials. Take care. Bye.